By sharing how we feel about our bodies and our orgasms, we create a powerful healing process. That quote is from Betty Dodson. I found it when I was going through some of her early flyers for her body sex workshops, and it's so true.
Well, Betty was brilliant. She could bottom line very complex concepts and philosophies. This is our blog topic this month. It's answering those two questions. How do I feel about my body? And how do I feel about my orgasm? And this is how Betty started every workshop. And this is how we start the workshops today. So I thought we'd throw it to our leaders. And Laura,
Mhm.
you're going to read some of our favorite lines from their posts.
Yes, yes. First, we start with Emily's, and I always love her perspective as a queer non-binary woman. Well, as a queer non-binary person. See, it's hard for me. Um, Her title is Claiming Myself Was Difficult. I later learned that bodies with vulvas need time to warm up, and this is true for me.
That is universal. For
Mhm,
all women, it takes us longer because our erectile tissue is inside our body. And I
mhm,
think because we have a multitasking mind, it always takes us longer to connect to the body, right? And get out of the mind because we're just running our tasks. And I
mhm,
love her frankness and honesty and vulnerability in
mhm.
every post. And she
Yes.
talks about starting out having sex with men and when she realized it was never going to work. And it's so fresh and so honest.
Yes, and I love how she describes her body image, and the process and the shape of her body and the comments that were made by lovers, and she took dance class, she was a ballerina, and that's very body focused. So that piece of it too, just so good and how she weaves it all together.
And it will resonate with so many. A lot of us are bottom heavy.
Mhm,
Okay, as a bottom heavy girl, I get it. And there's always the struggle that we have to have this kind of equal shape on top and
mhm.
bottom, and that's so, rare.
Yes,
So
yes.
Emily is one of my favorite bloggers. She really is.
Mhm. Next comes Jessica, another favorite blogger, and she had me at the title Housework, Coffee Break, and Orgasms. And her quote is I now have this wonderful way of checking in with myself, with my body, with my pleasure of knowing what I want and taking it. Wow.
And that can happen. We can be doing housework and say, you know what? I'm going to take a moment for myself. We have to
Mhm,
carve out the time. It's the hardest part of being orgasmic on a regular basis is
mhm.
finding the time to touch our bodies just because it feels good. And I
Yes.
love that visual of Jessica running around the house, right? Unshowered, cleaning up, and then going, a lot of blood flow going there. Why not?
Mhm. Right, exactly, exactly. She so weaves in everyday life and how to be orgasmic in everyday life. And yeah, it's we're not a separate sexual being. We're sexual as a wife, we're sexual as a mother.
You got to take it.
Mhm.
That's the way it is.
Mhm. Yes. And next we have Tosh. Oh my gosh, Tosh. She has been on an incredible journey, and I feel so lucky that she's joined our body sex leadership team. So Tosh's post is titled "My Body, My Orgasm." With my self pleasure practice, I'm learning to simply be with my body.
That's it.
Hmm.
As women, we're always doing, and it's really a
Hmm.
shift to just
Hmm.
being. That the fact that I'm here in the world, I can just be, and that's enough. And I can
Hmm.
be with my body. It doesn't have to be anything else than what it is right now in the moment. And it's kind of what I want to tell to other women, middle aged women you're never going to be lovelier than you are right now.
Hmm. Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
Hmm. Exactly. Our next one is written by Meta. And every time I read one of Meta's posts, she's such a deep thinker. And what she came to is that hating our bodies is a form of bigotry. And
Oh, I
so,
love this wrinkle. I love
right,
it. so much.
Yes, right, and so the quote that you liked from her is, "Unlearning bigotry and shedding our cultural repression of my body have cleared my road to playful sex."
And if we think of it like that, because, we go,
Mhm,
"Oh, yeah, women hate our bodies, we're critical of our bodies," and it's kind of this, like, knee-jerk thing, like, all women hate their bodies. But it is a form of bigotry.
mhm,
If we're saying that all women have to look one way, have to
mhm,
behave one way, that's a
mhm.
form of hate and
Yes,
oppression, and I
yes,
love that she branded it as bigotry because, like, that stops people. Like, if I'm saying negative things about myself, if I'm feeling negative things about my body, right?
mhm,
What am I? I'm showing hatred to myself. I'm a bigot. I'm a
right,
racist,
right,
right? And we
yes,
all don't wanna be in that hateful because it's like cycle hate or love, it's a choice.
yeah, yeah. Yes, her essay is just such an interesting reflection, and I think a lot of women who read it will relate. Next, we have Lakota's, and I know there's one line specifically that you've tagged on social media, and it's really a good one. She says, "No longer am I blaming other people for not wanting me enough or wanting me too much. Instead, I focus on what I can give and do for myself. I am finally self first."
And I love this wrinkle. Betty always said, "You can be self-full, not selfish,
Mhm,
self-full. I know
mhm,
what I need and I take what I need." And I
mhm,
love that self-first,
mhm.
right? You put the air mask and the airplane on yourself and then you help someone else. And I think as women, we need to think of it like that. First, I need to be whole myself. Then I can be a good partner and mother and or sister
Mhm.
and or friend and or whatever I choose to do with my life.
Yeah.
And I love that little nuance,
Mhm.
right? People liking me too much or not liking me enough, right? We all want attention, but then it's too much attention or it's not enough attention. Looking outside and looking at people's reactions to us as a form of validation for our self-love.
Yes. Yes.
So each one of these women bring a unique perspective, and that's what I love about this process. And so every month we're going to do a new topic. This month's topic is how do I feel about my body? How do I feel about my orgasm? And next month we're going to do vulva grooming.
Mm. Yes. Yes. I'm excited for that one.